even if you put them to the side, which I don't suggest you put them to the side, but even if you put them to the side, if you go back, you're still gonna have something that you can plug in and do something with.
You know what, Gina, I firmly believe that, especially from the standpoint of going back and the information that you intake, because we're taking in information every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have 70,000 thoughts a day and hundreds of thousands of pieces of information that we intake a day. What's going on, Bruce? Hey, chiming in, always chiming in. And with having that amount of information, some of that information we don't consciously use. We unconsciously use it. But if we're ready for that information, we can always dig back into that well and find it when you're ready to set the course.
Mm-hmm. And that well never runs dry.
It does not. It does not. If I said this, if you don't sleep on you, the well stays with water in it. If you read information, your mind will open up to you. You know what? Today's a perfect day to talk about what I talked to Dr. Stevens about, if y'all don't mind.
Go right ahead.
Let's get it.
So Dr. Stevens and I were having a conversation earlier today about I have a project that is ended up going to cost me a little over $30,000. And when we were having that conversation, she's like, what would you tell other individuals who would happen to be in this situation? What would you tell them to do? I'm a firm believer in two things: mindset and skill set has growth. And so I a brief synopsis of what I would instruct a mentee to do. And she was like, that's good. Because for me, the second you allow the $30,000 price tag, it could be $33,000, $30 or $300. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But if you're thinking and you have a mindset of solution based, not reaction, but response, you think differently. So for me, I told her this is what I said. And guys, I'm a coach. So this is a coaching moment with a nuggets attached.
Let's go.
What I would do would be this. I would say, first, let's take an opportunity to reset your mind to you don't have the $30,000, okay. Because this is what I did. I'm going to give this a real life scenario happened to me this week. So I said, okay, I don't touch the bank account, so I don't know how much. Remember, that's the deal I made. So I said, okay, so without me knowing, what would I do first? Find out, one, how much time I have to get to $30,000. How much time do I need? Put that number down. Then from there, I start a plan. The first, not panic. When you panic or you are in survival mode, you do not have the opportunity to think. That's the difference between responding and reacting to any amount of money, anything that devastates your life. Your response or your reaction changes that takes place. The second thing after I have my date, I will sit down for 1 hour and write down every skill set I have. Now, this plays into being self-aware. If you are aware of who you are and what you are good at, all your skill sets, then step away. Now, we were talking, she's like, why step away? Because you're stepping away to give your mind time to think.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back and you pick the one thing that you do best, whatever that thing is that you do best, people come talk to you about, because us have a skill that people come talk to us about. We might not do it every day in our lives, but it's one thing that we do best that people come talk to us about. Find that thing. So I picked something. I said paint. let's say that you can paint, but you don't paint for a living. But now this is where, when you are the first thing you had to do is be aware of who you are. The second thing is you had to give yourself time to think. That goes into setting the boundaries of self-care. If you don't give yourself time to think, you will not come up with your situation, because it's not a problem. It is just a situation. And finally, you spend the first 30 days. So I said 4 months. You need 4 months to come up with 30 grand. You spend the first 30 days marketing your skill. Now, here's tip. The tip is this. The gem and the nugget drop is this. You will go to those Facebook groups or put in your search engine the one thing you do. Let's say paint. You'll paint. You go to somewhere, you paint a room on camera. You're going to paint that room on camera. You're going to speed it up, show a before and an after. And you actually doing the work. You're going to go to those groups. You're going to put paint. It's going to give you renovations. It's going to give you all kinds of stuff. Those are the groups you're going to join. For the next 30 days, all you're going to do is focus on those people who need painting jobs. You're not going to look at Facebook for other things. That's what you're going to focus on. By month 2, you will have clients. 3 and 4, you'll just be stacking your money. This works no matter what it is you do well. But it's just about focus. It's just about you having self-care enough to be able to give yourself time to think, being aware of the things you do really well, having self-discipline to stay focused on the task, and having a high level of self-esteem, knowing that you can find success. Do these things, any endeavor in which you undertake, you can build wealth, period.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. So to me, I didn't take the situation as in, boom, I got $30,000. It was like, okay, what do I have to do for 2 months to get the $30,000?
Right.
What skill set do I have? I have many. I choose one. Facebook. So I'll say this. Facebook, regular posting will go out the window. But this is really about who you are. You thinking about the $30,000 if I got $30, or are you thinking that I have a skill that can make me what I need?
Right. Now let me ask you this, Rachel. Do you believe in the philosophy that every time you start a new venture, you should have something, let me see how to put it, because I heard this from my mentor. Every time you start a new venture, you should have a way, you should add a way to get the capital for that venture. It shouldn't be from your paycheck. It shouldn't be from the other bit. You should have a new way to earn, to make money to start that venture. Do you agree with that?
I'll say it's a yes and no. I'll say yes and no. I agree with that. You don't want to pull from Peter to start Paul. If your other ventures are the capital builder, then what you're doing is you're going to pay that company back as you become profitable in your new endeavor. So if you're taking a loan from the business that you write up as a loan from your other company to the next company and you pay yourself back, that means you have to restructure business-wise. Absolutely.
Bruce said, your kids deserve more than survival mode. Rachel's poverty to 6 figures shows how to break the cycle for them. and yourself. Order now. Say, what does it say? I am possible. Say, I am possible. There you go. .com. I am possible.com. All right. All right. So
yeah, but so I mean, I agree.
So you agree with that to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, because sometimes, okay, so let's say that you're starting a new endeavor. Is this endeavor your passion? I know a lot of people, and I know you guys know the same, that are doing things that are not their passion. And they're just trying to find 7 streams of income because that's what they've heard is how you become wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
When if they really look at billionaires, or if you look at the top 1%, let me tell you what's true. There's 7 streams of income. All of their income is bridging to the same one thing that they do really well. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates.
Not gonna mention
we'll go Jay-Z, Beyonce.
Okay.
Diddy. I'll say in jail. We're just talking about life. Skip the jail part. Life. The way they become wealthy is all one focus. It might be 7 different ways it's coming in, but it's all one focus. Warren Buffett buys companies. He's a stock genius, but being a genius is that he understands business and understands when to buy a company. That is what he does for a living. He loves that. He's passionate about companies.
Venture capitalism at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
We're all capitalists, to be honest. We all wish we had. We said this. Everyone, this is my. No, I'm not. This is not an opinion. This is fact. If we had a way to get $100 million and we had the bright ideas that these gentlemen had, we would use them.
So, I guess the examples that you give in your book is, first of all, you tell them how to fish and then help them find what to fish for.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, because the book goes through, hashtag poverty to 6 figures starts with the mindset that's going to be needed for your growth. Money is a figment of your imagination.
Mm.
It's rare that money changes hands on a bigger scale. When you buy it is a transaction between 2 computers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, money ain't changed hands since the 1700s.
Right.
Not like that. Not on those scales anyway.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
is in the passion.
So. It is.
It definitely. I mean, if you get into something that you don't enjoy, you don't put your 100% into it. You drag it around. You know, I think about when I was working in corporate America, and I had a lot of my friends to come to me and say, when I pull up in the parking lot, I sit in my car and cry. I don't want to go in the building. That's not a good feeling. That's
her
not
body
a
was
good
already
place to be.
The body was already telling. I say this. The biggest thing, what I say that people are afraid. You're afraid to leave the place that makes you uncomfortable the most. To bet on yourself of getting something that will make you feel good about your life. It's a hard decision.
Success.
They are. People will sabotage. Self-sabotage is a real thing. It's a real thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because just like
Bruce said, let me see what Bruce said. If your job can fire you tomorrow, maybe you should hire yourself today. Be your own boss with a blueprint and poverty to 6 figures. Again, you a lot of these, you know what, Bruce keep bringing up poverty to 6 figures because a lot of these nuggets are in the book.
Yeah, they are.
A lot of these nuggets are in the book. And I've read it.
Yeah, as a mentee, it is that you read the book. Now let me explain. The whole point of me writing the book is for growth. And wait a minute, I'm award nominated. These are award nominated books.
Yes.
All right.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, in all honesty, pouring out the information that I wish I had 20 years ago when I was having a problem. 10 years ago when I was growing up into being a leader. If I had this information, if someone had sat down with me and helped me grow, do you know how much faster I could have made it? I wish I had in the book. And it's an action plan, guys. The book is not about information. Every chapter is action. Because in attraction, in satisfaction, the word in there is action. You have to be in action towards what you need. And that's the piece that we can't want wealth and want to be lazy.
Woo, you can't be lazy in this game.
Okay.
But it goes to, we want quick money. Quick money means that somebody's going to give you a quick set of information. You're going to make, and that's going to be it.
We'll make a stupid
So
decision.
corporate America versus childcare for my total different.
So you said corporate America versus childcare for me, totally different. So, and you know what? Sometimes people have to make a choice. And listen, don't think corporate America is the way to go. Corporate America is not always the way to go. I was in corporate America for 18 years. I saw the politics. I saw the favoritism. I saw, I wasn't a DEI hire, but DEI didn't help me because I got passed over 3 times for 3 different people that I knew I was more qualified for it. I had co-workers coming to me saying, "Aren't you upset?" No, I'm not upset, because guess what? My skills will speak for themselves. They're going to have to come to me eventually. And eventually they came to me. You can't keep overlooking what I'm doing. You can't keep overlooking my skills.
All right.
So, the corporate America, you were in corporate America. It's not the creme of the crop.
I will say this. For me, I took from corporate America the skills that I used to build my business. That's what I took from corporate America. Now, for me, your job has to be, you have to see them as an investor. If you see that job as an investor, you're going to work differently. Your mindset is different. I work for those companies differently. Now, did I get passed over for promotions? I got to be transparent. I did not. People, No, that's not true. There was one I left because they wouldn't promote me. My director told me to walk away. He gave me a letter of recommendation and 2 companies to go call because he couldn't give me a position that he knew I earned. So he gave me a letter of recommendation and a company that would hire me in for the role. I got that role from them.
But you made a good point. You took those skills and you made them work for yourself.
Absolutely.
I did the same. You do look at it differently. You do look at it differently when you're on the other side of management, and when you've been on both sides, you understand why they do the things they do. As an employee, and you've never been on that other side, you're sitting there complaining, well, why didn't they do this? Well, they should have did that. That didn't make any sense. But when you worked on both sides of the fence, they made an executive decision. They made a decision that's gonna keep the company moving forward.
So sometimes I'll say this, and this is not for all companies, and I'm not here to advocate for companies. I'm here to advocate for truth. I'm always going to be a person that is going to be truthful. When you move up in companies, you realize that the bottom line is a lot slimmer. When you're looking at the numbers as an RVP for an area, and you're trying to determine if you're going to shut one of your branches down because they are bringing 4 other branches down. Even though they're making money, they're not making enough money to sustain their branch and keep the company afloat. Those are hard to make, but they're hardcore facts. You could save everyone's job, or you can save everyone's job temporarily and lose everyone's job in the next 6 months. Sometimes those decisions are that critical.
Yeah, I'm with you on a whole bunch of things, especially the what we used to call in management when I was in management, micro training. You if you love what you're doing and you want to move up, you taking knowledge from everything that you do to make sure you get to your CEO moment, because you're going to use all of that information, when you get to your CEO moment. One of the things that I used to say, you look at everything at a micro level. In other words, you pick those things out that you're going to use later on. You might not be here for 3 years, 4 years. You may be there for the next 10, but you're still picking those things out of there that you could use later on. And those are feathers in your caps. A lot of people don't know how many feathers they have in their caps until they lose a job. You know what I mean? They lose a job.
To sit down and think, Mo. And have to sit down and think.
Yep. Had to sit down and think what they were doing at that job. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, if you learned everything that you were supposed to learn at that job, not more or less thinking about staying there for 14 to 15 years, if you're learning all the time, guess what? You ain't even got no time to lose that mug, because they ain't going to want to lose you. You know what I mean? You're the one that's picking up the different skills every day to make sure that company runs great. So you don't have no time to look back. But those people are looking back, trying to get, moved up that corporate ladder and trying to step on everybody on the way, but don't know what the hell they doing. Them the ones that get that kick to the curb kind of thing. My whole thing is, if you have the mindset that you're not staying there forever and you're gonna move to that next level, you ain't got to worry about your future, because it's gonna be bright, because you're gonna take some of everything that you get from those jobs.
Can we get? I know we only got a couple of minutes. Can we put Ella's comment up there?
Yes.
I just want to speak.
Ella said sometimes having the knowledge of a company and you can't share it can be hurtful.
Yeah.
So I say this: I have a non-compete from 2 companies. And when you get a non-compete, that means that you can't utilize software, technology, or information that company has. So I have a non-compete for 2 companies. Technology within that company that is proprietary to that company. So it has my intellectual properties, but when you become a company representative, it becomes a company's intellectual properties. So I hear what you're saying there, but let me tell you when you said hurtful, what you do is you're taking that information for you. You're not taking the information, but that information from those companies allow me to understand when my company is successful and how to make it successful. And how to know when to say when. Like I was making a determination if I'm going to sell my building, or one of my buildings, or not. I'm looking at it. What is the cost of repair, and what? Those are decisions that you don't make emotionally. I'm not emotionally tied to anything because of corporate. I'm not one more time. I'm not praising corporate America. What I'm praising is the investment that they made in me for me to grow. Because the money that I utilized to buy those buildings, I got from the investor. Thank you.
That's right. Man, we could go on and on and on and on.
Yes,
but we done ran out. 30 minutes just was not enough time today. Go ahead. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, Rachel. Give us something to leave with.
All right, CEOs. I hope that little piece of information about that $30,000 helps you find success. If you didn't hear all, wind this back, because those steps will allow you to find success in whatever you have going on next. You're looking to grow, listen to those steps. Looking for greatness in your life, you got it. And until next week, right here on Dope Living TV with the National Black Radio Hall of Fame inductees, I want you guys to be up, out to the greatness we all know lies within who? You
You,
CEOs.
baby.
See y'all
You,
next
baby.
week
That's
right
right.
here at 7:30
All
p.m.
right. Come on, Mo. Give us 30 seconds.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let's see. Just remember, you are great. Period.
Yeah, I agree with Mo. And don't ever think that you've run out of time. Don't
Never.
ever, I don't care how old you get. If you decide at the age of 80 that you want to start your own business, start your own business.
Let's do
There
it.
you go. That right there. And we are going to come back next Thursday with more nuggets because I'm telling you, every week is something new. Every week you get different knowledge. So join us. We'll be back. This is our weekend. We will be back on Monday. Again, come out 6 in Broadway, Gary, Indiana, Saturday from 10 to 2. We will be out there, R&D Discount Distributors. And you can't forget November 7th. What's happening November 7th, Mo?
Ooh. down there at DAG.
That's right. Distinguished
DAG. We're
Authors
gonna have a
Guild.
funky good time, y'all. Please.
Funky
please,
good
please.
time.
And you're gonna see one of the nominees, myself, and have an opportunity to get your signed copy of hashtag Poverty to Six Figures or Forged in Fire, whichever one that you have on your radar.
Ooh, I got both of them. I got mine. You get yours.
Got to get mine. I still got to get
And
mine.
you know
right?
what? All of the nominees will be there. You'll get an opportunity to meet them in person. You'll have an opportunity to learn what the steps they took to get a completed published book. So if you're looking to write a book, if you started a book and you're looking to get it published, if you need an editor, come out and meet these authors. They are very, very insightful. Thank
Very
you
so.
all. It's been so great. You know, we always love having you, Rachel. Every week is a great week with you. Signing out. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.